Good morning, children. In the last class, we were discussed about the immunity system. What are the types of the organs which is involved in the immunity system? That is the primary and the secondary. That is organs. So these are all things we were discussed in the last class, isn't it? Today we will study about there are two important topics. The first one is the communicable disease. One of the best example for the communicable as well as vulnerable disease is nothing but the AIDS, and the second one is non-communicable but dangerous. Okay, so that is a cancer. So today we will discuss about these two diseases, about completely how it will transmit, the mode of transmission, the life cycle, everything we will discuss in this class. Okay, so let's start the study about the first one. That is nothing but AIDS. Okay, you must have heard about the number of times from the earlier days. So that is nothing but the AIDS. So question arises, actually what is this? So this is one of the communicable vulnerable disease. Okay, AIDS is also known as acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Okay, actually what is this? So the deficiency of immune system that during acquired during lifetime and not contagious disease. Okay, that is nothing but it is the deficiency of immune system. Okay, the deficiency of immune system only. So whenever we suffer with any type of the diseases, our body, the immune system fight against that particular diseases or the antigens or the microbes. But here the deficiency of immune system that acquired during lifetime and not congenital diseases. Okay, and the syndromes means, the question arises, what is a syndrome? The syndromes means a group of the symptoms due to the infection of this viral infection. There are the multiple diseases or the multiple microbes attacks at a time. Okay, so that's why it will be considered as a syndrome. Syndrome means a group of the symptoms. Okay, and AIDS was actually the first reported in 1981. Okay, AIDS was first reported in 1981, so in America actually. Okay, and it is caused by human immunodeficiency virus. The causative organism for this disease, HIV, that is human immunodeficiency virus. And remember, HIV is a retrovirus with RNA genomes. What is this retrovirus? It is very dangerous. Okay, if it is enters once, it will start multiplication, okay, very rapidly, and will causes the damage. Okay, so with RNA genome only. Okay, you know very well that while we are discussing about the DNA and RNA, I told you how the RNA is very active compared to the DNA and how it is very unstable due to the presence of uridine instead of thymine, isn't it? Because in case of the RNA, so what are the nitrogen bases we can identify? That is nothing but AUGC. Because of the RNA, so the genetic material HIV is very active, as well as it is unstable. The genetic material is unstable. Okay, so but remember, as HIV is a retrovirus having RNA as a genetic material, that is the reason still there are number of scientists, they are not able to study completely. Okay, so in particular part of the different countries, so every day the research is going on, but still why they are not able to find out the solution or any medicine? The reason is, it's clear, because HIV is a retrovirus with RNA genome. Whatever it is having, the genetic material is highly reactive and it will be always unstable. Okay, that is the reason. Okay, so because of all these reasons, still we are not able to find any type of the vaccine or the medicine. Okay, in last 25 years it killed over 25 millions of the that is the peoples around the world. Okay, so you cannot believe, even our first prime minister of our India, Nehru, is also okay killed by AIDS only. Okay, so you may not believe, but it is true. Okay, there are different peoples, not only just like, so almost all the different peoples around the world, including celebrities. Okay, so in the last 25 years it killed over 25 million persons around the world. Okay, yeah. And the question arises how it is actually transmits, or we can also say the mode of transmission or method of transmission. The first one is the sexual contact with infected person. Okay, the sexual contact with direct sexual contact with infected person, so that the whatever the HIV will transmit from infected or diseased person to healthy persons. Okay, and the second one is very important, the transfusion of contaminated or diseased person blood. Okay, so that during the transfusion of the contaminated blood and the blood products, so that it can transmit directly and easily from infected person to the healthy persons. And the third one, the sharing of infected needles as intravenous drug users. So especially the drug addicts, while they are taking a or while they are sharing the infected needles, they don't bother about the any type of the the precautions, so that it can easily transmit. Okay, so during the sharing infected needles as intravenous drug users, it can directly enters. So that means HIV can directly enter from infected person to healthy person. And the fourth one is the from infected mother to the growing fetus through the placenta. Okay, so if the infected person or the infected mother is already suffering from the HIV, if they are able to identify from the early stages, that is different. But generally, if they are not able to identify from infected mother to the fetus through the placenta, it can transmit. Okay, it can transmit from infected person or infected mother to the growing fetus. Okay, so these are the four possibilities of the mode of the transmission. Along with all these four possibilities, there is another possibility, during organ transplantation like kidney transplantation, eye transplantation, okay, liver transplantation. So like that, the organ transplantation from the infected donor to the recipient, so though that the even in this during organ transplantations also, the HIV can transmit from infected person to the that is healthy person. So these are all the known as mode of transmission or method of transmission. We can also say how these AIDS or the HIV transmit from that is diseased person to the healthy person. Okay, so but here the question arises, the high risk people of getting HIV. Okay, so in all the cases we may not give a high risk of the probability, but the thing is, so these are all the possibilities, okay, which is showing in the slide. There are four possibilities, okay, so that we can identify high risk of people of the getting HIV. Okay, so first case in that one, individuals with multiple sex partners. So this is the main reasons the infected person, if they undergo the individuals with the multiple sexual partners, so that they may transmit the viruses to the multiple numbers. So in such a cases also, it is also one of the reasons of the high risk of people of the getting HIV. Okay, then the second one is individuals who require repeated blood transfusion. So there are number of cases, you must have heard about the blood disorders. So in such a cases, they may require the blood repeatedly. Okay, they may be required the blood repeatedly, so that in such a cases, if they get the any infected person blood without proper check and all, so individuals who require the repeated blood transfusions, they may also get infected. So this is also one of the high risk of the peoples getting HIV. Okay, third one, as I said, the drug addicts who take drugs intravenously. So in such a cases, especially, so they are all in the, different world. They don't bother about anything. Okay, they don't care about anything. In such a papers, the drug addicts generally they will use a single, the needles or the syringes. So they share the, so generally, okay, drug addicts who take drugs intravenously, and they will share the single needle or the syringes for the multiple friends or the persons, so that in such a cases also, so we can see high risk of the peoples getting HIV. And the fourth one, as I said, here it's also the children born to HIV infected mothers. So knowingly, unknowingly, okay, so if the already earlier mother is get infected because of the different reasons, but surely if it will be not identified or diagnosed in the early stages, the children born to an HIV infected mother, so that children will also become the HIV positive. So these are all the high risk peoples of getting HIV. So they are also known as mode of transmissions. Okay, yeah. But the thing is, so generally the peoples around the world, so they may be having a different type of the the imaginations with respect to the particular disease. But remember, HIV does not spread by mere touch or physical contact. Okay, it spreads only through the body fluids. Okay, so there is a misconceptions with respect to the HIV peoples. So that's why there are a number of cases, they may be get exploited, or they may be not given proper treatment, or sometimes they may be not allowed to anyways. So but the thing is, remember, during hugging, sharing food, so insect bites, sharing public toilets, and the bathing, even sneezing and coughs through the sweat, all these cases, okay, in all these cases, HIV does not spread by mere touch or physical contacts, but remember, it spreads only through the body fluids or direct contacts only. Okay, yeah. There is a time lag. So in the beginning stages, they may don't show any type of the symptoms. Okay, it is depends upon their individual body resistance power or immune system, but there is a time lag. So it may be differs with respect to the person to person, from a few months to the 5 to 10 years between the infections and appearance of the symptoms. It is depends upon body resistance power. Okay, if they are very weak with respect to immune system, the symptoms may arise from the beginning only, that means from a few months. But if they are very very good with respect to the immune system, the symptoms may appear after few years until 10 years. Okay, so that's why, so there is a time lag from a few months to up to, that is 5 to 10 years between the infection and appearance of the symptoms. Okay, so after this one, let us study that is the life cycle of the HIV. Okay, so why we have to study about the life cycle. The prevention is better than cure. Till now, we are not able to identify sufficient vaccination or any type of the medicine, direct medicines. But the thing is, how we can avoid. So if you know about the life cycle, the mode of infection, so transmissions, then only we can avoid. Okay, so how? So let us come. So let us study about the life cycle of the HIV, so that we can avoid the further, the problems. In that one, the first one, how it will be actually enters. Okay, so in the beginning, actually, you can identify here the retrovirus after getting into the body through the mode of transmission, as I said just now. After getting into the body, the HIV enters into the macrophages or T helper cells. Okay, this is the first step. After getting into the body, the HIV enters into the macrophages or T helper cells. That is nothing but, so they are also known as the actually macrophages only. Okay, and in this next stage, the viral RNA genome replicated to form viral DNA. The viral RNA genome replicated to form a viral DNA, with the name of the enzyme is called reverse transcriptase. Okay, so reverse transcriptase, during the PCR polymerase chain reaction, because of this presence of enzyme only they can identify. Remember, so this can be, they will ask in the competitive. The viral RNA genome replicated to form a viral DNA with the enzyme called reverse transcriptase. So after that, the viral DNA gets incorporated into the host cell's DNA by the enzyme is called integrase. Okay, so that is the name of the enzyme, integrase. The viral DNA gets incorporated into the host cell's DNA by an enzyme is called integrase, and directs the infected cells to produce virus particles. Okay, so that it will start the multiplication. Now the macrophages continue to produce virus and acts as a HIV factory. Okay, so here it's also, they will ask which is specifically known as a HIV factory. The macrophages, after the infections, the macrophage continues to produce the viruses, okay, and acts as a HIV factory. Okay, and the viruses released from the macrophage attacks directly to T helper cells. So that means the virus is released. Once it is get released from the macrophages, okay, from the HIV factory, the viruses, that is nothing but HIV released from the that is a macrophage, attacks T helper cells directly. Okay, so there is a progressive reduction. In the number of T helper cells. Okay, so due to the reduction of T helper cells, the person starts suffering from infections. That is nothing but multiple infections of other, like viral infections, fungal infections, even parasites like, that is toxoplasma, like that. So there are multiple antigens. It will start infections inside the infected person. Okay, so then what will happen? The patients become immunodeficient and more prone to other diseases. So that's why we call acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Okay, immuno, so that is acquired immune system only get destroyed. Immunodeficiency, they are not able to generate the immune systems only, and the multiples. So that's what I said. The patients, once if it is get infected, the patient becomes immunodeficient, and what happens? And more prone to the almost all the number of diseases. That's what I said. The virals viral diseases, even fungal diseases, okay, including bacterial, even the parasites also, different type of the parasites also enters into the infected persons. Okay, so this is the briefest form how to understand the life cycle of the HIV. As I said, HIV enters into the body, okay, through the direct fluids, and it will infect to the macrophages, acts as a HIV factory. So then it will start multiplication. The RNA replicates in presence of the reverse transcriptase to form viral DNA, and the viral DNA incorporates, that is incorporates into the host DNA. Infected cells produce viral particles, weaken immunity. So what happens here? So the HIV enters into the helper T cells. Okay, so that is a T lymphocytes. Now the replicates and produce the progeny viruses which attack other T cells, that is the Th cells. Then T cells decreases periodically. Finally the complete weakening of the immune system. Okay, so this is how exactly the life cycle of the HIV goes on continuously in the infected person. Okay, yeah, so this is what how actually we can identify, yes, so this person is suffering from the particular disease. So based on the symptoms, okay, based on the symptoms we can identify. But how the symptoms arises, the effects, okay, effects during this period, the person suffer from fever, okay, diarrhea and weight loss due to deficiency of the T helper cells. Okay, T helper cells, he may be infected with the mycobacterium, the viruses, fungi and parasites like toxoplasma. Okay, so but the diagnosis is very important. The blood sample of the person is tested by, the method is called ELISA. Okay, ELISA is nothing but enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. Okay, so that to know the whether the person is infected with HIV or not. Okay, the present in the market, the treatment for this AIDS, antiviral drugs are the partially effective. They can only prolong the life of the patients, but they cannot protect. Okay, they cannot protect. Only the thing is, the antiviral or the retroviral drugs are partially effective. They can only prolong the life of the patients. Okay, yeah. So but how to prevent this one, the prevention of the AIDS? See, I told you in the beginning also, there is a proverb in English, prevention is better than cure. Okay, prevention is better than cure, because AIDS has no cure. Prevention is the best option. Okay, what are the things they can do, so or we can do? Okay, educate the people, educate the people about the AIDS and the safe blood for the transfusion. Always, whatever the, I mean the emergency, we should always use, okay, we should always use the safe blood for transfusion after testing of all the different, I mean the testings. Okay, and use of, so there is a use of disposable needles, okay, and syringes. In the earlier, so it's about 5 or 7 years back, in the hospitals also they had a incubation chambers or the incubation trays for the needles. But now they are not using that one, so they are using as I mean the disposable needles and the syringes. Okay, and the free distribution of the especially the condoms. Our peoples, especially for the purpose of their safety only, they are not ready to expand, I mean they are not ready to give money. So that is a very big problem. So in such a cases, government only, okay, so they have to distribute, or they have to provide the distribution of the condoms. Actually from the last few years it is going on, but still peoples are not ready to use in an appropriate manner. And making a blood banks safe from HIV. Okay, so because I told no, so we don't know which type of the emergency happens. Okay, so in such a cases, what they will do, so they will collect the blood from the blood banks, but before that making the blood banks only safe from the HIV, so then they can use immediately, isn't it? Or else they will think it may be get checked, they will directly transfuse, so that in such a cases also, I mean the maximum number of cases, so high risk of the that is transmission of the diseases will be there, that's why. And regular check-ups for HIV, I told no, the incubation period will be differs with respect to the different person from few months to the up to 5 to 10 years. If they are willingly or unwillingly or knowingly or unknowingly, they may be get infected. If they go for regular checkups for HIV, so they can prevent the further problems. Okay, and advocating a safe sex, see this is very important. So this is actually individual responsibility, they should aware, okay, about the, so what are the, I mean the safety measures should be taken. So that's what the advocating the safe sex. And controlling drug abuse, okay, controlling drug abuse, it is very important. I told no, the prevention of the drug abuse is very important, because who are the peoples get addicted for the drugs, they don't bother about any type of the infections, so that is a big problems. Okay, yeah. And I told no, so advocating safe sex and promoting regular checkups is very effective. Okay, if they are able to diagnose in the early stages, so that we can avoid the further problems also. Okay, so these are all the some of the, I mean the mode of we can use as the preventive measures. Okay, preventive measures, so that we can avoid or we can prevent the AIDS. Okay, yeah. So after the AIDS, we have to discuss about there is another important the disease. Okay, you know, it is also known as non-communicable disease. But nowadays throughout the world, so this is also one of the very big problems. Okay, so actually cancer. What is a cancer means? Uncontrolled cell division. It is also known as uncontrolled mitotic cell division, which leads to production of mass of cells, is called cancer. Okay, the cancer how exactly happens? It is because of uncontrolled mitotic cell division. You know, after the mitosis, while we are studying about the, I mean the protein synthesis, I told you clearly, after the production of the particular proteins, the nonsense codon should be stop the synthesis of particular protein, isn't it? Then that will be normal. But the person who is suffering from the cancer, in such a cases there will be a missing of nonsense codon, so that the nonsense codons, whenever they will be inactive or not functioning, what happens, the continuity of the production of particular proteins going on. So this is how exactly the cancer, okay, this is how exactly the cancer happens in the human beings. Okay, so as I said, the cancer is an abnormal and uncontrolled multiplication of the cells, that is the mitotic cells, resulting in the formation of the tumors. It is also known as masses of the cells. Okay, then, and here the normal cells show a contact inhibition. So that is contact inhibition means contact with the other cells inhibit their uncontrolled growth. But the cancer cells do not have this property. Okay, this is a very big problem. Okay, the cancer cells lost the property of the contact inhibition. So, and the cancer cells just continue to divide, giving rise, that is nothing but giving rise to masses of the cells, is called tumors. Okay, so that's why what is a tumor? The cancer cells just continue to divide, giving rise to the mass of cells, is called tumors. Tumors are nothing but, it is nothing but the mass of the cells. Okay, yeah. The study of the cancer is called oncology. Okay, in our branch, I mean in the biology, there is a specialized branch for the study of the cancer. So that's what we call oncology. Study of the cancer, oncology. 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 Okay, yeah. So let us discuss in detail about the cancer. So so that we can identify what is the reasons. Okay, what is the reasons, what are the types of the cancer, and how it will be exactly, what are the characteristics, and how the I mean generally detection and diagnosis should be done. So these are all things we will continue with respect to the next class. Okay, so anyway, because if we will discuss both at today, it maybe leads to a lot of confusion. So so let it be. So next class we will continue in detail the discussion about the cancer. Okay, so thank you, have a nice day.